Ooh, that'd be pretty good. Godzilla like goes and attacks like the Aquaman like city like underwaters. Then Aquaman has to
Atlantis.
fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
Atlantis has to fight fucking Godzilla. That'd be
I don't think
interesting.
Aquaman could do shit against
Well, then
Godzilla.
then he could just get killed, and then Willem Dafoe, the true Lord of the Sea, would have to kill him.
Team up with Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Robert Pattinson shines the lighthouse into Godzilla's eyes so William Dafoe can offer the killing blow.
Then Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson can just stay on their happy lighthouse island together
Yeah.
for all
Just
eternity.
fart and eat lobsters.
The dream.
All right, from the top.
Uh, Playhouse Reviews. Warning, this video contains in-depth movie reviews and film discussions, which include movie spoilers of key plot points and may ruin the viewing pleasure of audiences listening to this podcast who have not yet seen these films. The Playhouse brothers highly recommend watching these films before listening to this episode to ensure your listening experience enjoyment levels are maximized. If you do not care about having movie endings spoiled, please disregard this message and proceed with listening.
Hello there to all of our loyal fans out there. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Jamie.
And welcome to this week's episode of Playhouse Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing Nomadland and Kong vs. Godzilla. Before we get started, James, is there anything else you watched this week that you want to talk about real quick?
I didn't watch anything else this week. I was just so busy thinking about Godzilla vs. Kong. I didn't want to watch anything else besides those two. What about you? Did you watch anything?
No, I was pretty busy this week, so I didn't have time to watch much else. So let's just dive right into Nomadland.
Alrighty, let's do it. So, what were your first impressions after finishing Nomadland?
I mean, I really liked it. I think it's one of the best movies I've watched in a while. I thought it was great. Frances McDormand was great, probably her best performance since Fargo. But yeah, I got really into it for like a movie that not a lot happened, like not like an exciting movie, but it was great.
Yeah, no, it looked really nice too. Like it was made to look like an indie movie.
Yeah.
I think we are talking about that a little bit before we started. There's lots of like handheld and stuff, but it looked
A
beautiful.
lot of nature shots. Sometimes
Yes.
they're filming from behind the bushes instead of in front of the bushes.
Yeah,
Things like that.
A lot of good bush framing, and yeah, like the sunrises and the sunset shots. Those all look just gorgeous. And then
Yeah, and like everything in the desert looked really good.
yeah, then like the soundtrack is pretty much just all like kind of piano. It was kind of like ominous and just sounded nice, but it really set the mood, and it was really good.
Yeah, I feel like the music really like elevated the scenes for like how it wants you to feel. It really like brings it to the next level, I thought.
Yeah, and they did a lot of like songs with people she met in the movie. Like they would like be singing around the campfire, or there's some scenes in like bars where there's like some old like southern dude singing with
Some Pirates of the Caribbean ride man singing on the piano.
That's exactly what he looked like. But it was really good. It worked with the movie, so
Yeah, no, I really liked it because they're just kind of just experiencing what she's experiencing, and they want you to feel what she feels. Going into this movie, I didn't really know a lot about it, but I was like, man, is this movie just going to be her working in the Amazon box factory the whole time, and how bad Amazon is?
yeah. Well, that's what I thought. I was surprised. I wonder if they even knew that they filmed it in Amazon, or if Amazon knew what movie they were making, because it doesn't really paint Amazon in the best light in this film.
Yeah. I mean, no one likes Amazon. I thought it was a weird choice, but I mean, I guess it's maybe like based on like true experience, or I know the movie's based on a book, but I don't know anything about the book, but I could see that's something that someone did.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a bit of like social commentary in it, which is what I enjoyed about this movie. It's kind of talking about how capitalism and the whole like working culture of America, it's not for everyone. It fails some people, but those people who don't want to fit into that kind of typical 9 to 5 work, or can't for whatever reason, whether it's economical or disability, age, whatever it might be, it's just society tends to look down on them in America, and they're kind of pushed to the outskirts. Like some people, yeah, sure, they choose to live like she did in a van, but that's definitely not everyone. And then there is some people, like they're working at Amazon, it's not typically the best standards. They're not, or especially right now, they're getting a lot of flack right now for not paying their employees enough, and worker conditions, and kind of
no breaks, and they have to pee in bottles.
Yeah, so there's definitely themes of kind of like a failing capitalist society in this.
I mean, basically the Santa Claus guy says it at the trailer park, where it's like the the horse going off in the pasture, and the horse won't survive on its own, so they have to take all the horses together in their little RV community.
Yeah. No, it was good though. I mean that's another thing too. Like when the characters were talking and kind of, they weren't necessarily explaining the themes per se. They're doing it very poetically. So it wasn't like they're just flat out explaining it, talking to the camera. I mean, they kind of are, but they're doing it in a way where it's well written. It's not like Wonder Woman at the 84, where she's they're telling you the themes exactly.
Yeah, this is telling you a story within the movie that reinforces the themes of what's going on.
Exactly, yeah. And that's kind of, it works with the main character because she's struggling. You don't know exactly all the details of her life. I mean, you figure it out as you go, but that's what she likes about being on the road, is just being able to meet strangers, connect with them, not necessarily be obligated or tied to them per se.
Yeah, you never say goodbye. You say see you down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of interesting things like that. It was very, very theme heavy, which is the best part about the movie. Are the themes, what it's kind of saying about people, and kind of just being open and accepting all these people who don't live what people considered normal societal life or developed life.
I mean, honestly, the RV life seemed pretty cool. If they could get some Elon Musk Starlink internet while they're on those RVs, I think that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, that would be sick. At the beginning, though, because I feel like a lot of people, they have that dream of when they retire, go drive to all like the national state parks and stuff.
I think the sailboat example is like a common like American dream type thing.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people want to do that. And like the van life stuff's getting super popular online, even amongst typically young privileged people right now, because it's not that cheap to do. But if you're forced to do it, that's a whole nother story. But
well, I mean, she built hers herself. I thought that was pretty cool when she was just talking about the little thing she did, where she took like that old moldy falling apart tray from the one guy and then turned it into like a cabinet. Cool.
Yeah. At first, though, when she was like being forced to work, I thought this movie was going to be like a Manchester by the Sea type movie.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be super depressing.
I thought it was going to be her just like basically considering like suicide or dying or something. And there are some themes of that, but it's not necessarily the focus of it. But it started off like when she was going to Amazon, and she just looked miserable. Like they did. But then it got better as she kind of met with the community, and you got to know her friends
that one first old lady that she met was like super nice, and you could tell they were genuine friends when they're just like hanging out. But I was worried too, especially like about the suicide thing, because like she found that dog and then she didn't keep it. I was like, oh, she doesn't want a dog because like she's planning on like killing herself or something like that. But luckily, it did not go that direction.
And I kind of thought she was going to keep the dog for a bit, like that was going to be kind of like a point of the movie, like she's stuck with this dog. She didn't want to, but then she ends up liking the dog or something.
Well, I feel like it's so weird in like a Hollywood movie that they don't keep the dog. Everyone loves dogs. I'm sure the test audience was probably very sad that they didn't keep the dog.
Maybe the dog wasn't it more, but then the dog died immediately, and then they're like, no, we can't put this dead dog in the movies. It'd be too much, too triggering for viewers. So, would you want to live in a van life if you could?
I mean, I wouldn't want to live like that now, but I feel like the community of like retired people, I think that would be pretty cool. And it's not like you have to do it forever either. Just do it for a year or two, or travel around and see things. And it seemed like, I mean, the community people weren't in it like a ton, but it seemed like they had plans where they like go see different things and go to different events and such. But I definitely wouldn't want to do it in somewhere as cold as, what was it, Wisconsin, was it? Where she was at the beginning?
I think that's where they started. I thought maybe it was Nevada. I can't remember. I don't know.
I know they went to Nevada. I can't remember if that's where they started. But I definitely would not want to be living in a van somewhere that cold.
No. If you ever do like a van road trip where you're living in a car, do it from like spring to fall. Never fucking do it in winter, especially in the United States. Like, I mean, we forget how terribly cold it gets in other places because we're in California. But other states, it's fucking just cold and snowing, and you do not want to like be stranded with like a flat tire in a snowstorm stuck in your van.
Well, that's what the other old lady said when she got the flat tire. She's like, you could die if you got a flat tire. Like, you have to be prepared for this shit.
Yeah.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, that would suck. Okay, so that one scene, remember when they're like at that first kind of gathering of all the different old folks and the van livers, and they're meeting Santa Claus. and they're doing all the different like tips and tricks for van living.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them, she was like had like a screw in like the tire, and they're like, oh, you got to make the hole bigger, like just jam it in there and pull it out. I was like, what are you doing? Like, are you teaching people? Like, I just don't know much about cars or maintenance. So like, were they trying to say like, oh, this is what you do to like patch a hole? You have to first make the hole bigger and then cover it up.
Yeah, I'm not a handyman like that. When I got my flat tire, I just called AAA.
Yeah, I mean the poop bucket made sense to me. It's like, oh, depending on how you poop, you need these different sized buckets. That was.
Can you imagine having to poop in a Prius?
That'd be a nightmare. I feel like if I had to poop in a Prius, I'd just create some kind of like curtain contraption that like you open up like the front door and the back door on the same side of the car, then you have like a curtain. So it's still outside.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so paranoid that one like scene where she kind of had like an upset stomach and had to poop when she was in her van. I thought she was gonna get like some kind of weird stomach sickness, or she was gonna knock the bucket over. I'm like, oh no, like that was like the most anxiety-inducing scene for me. Like someone's gonna kick the van and then it just goes everywhere. She's gonna forget.
There were a lot of scenes of her going to the bathroom.
I know. I think that was one of the opening scenes, like right before the credits. She was just driving around and peed on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was wild. At first, I wasn't too sure because I'd always kind of wanted to live in a van for a while. I think that'd be cool just to go cruise around in all the state parks. But at the beginning of the movie, I was a little unsure. I'm like, oh, this could be kind of scary and shitty actually in some places. But by the end of it, I'm like, nah, I embrace this life.
Well, it's a big difference too, being like a older woman by herself, and then like me and you. Like a whole different things of worries. Yeah.
And we if all you had was the van and you didn't have enough money to do anything else, that's completely different.
I did like the scene when they went and were looking at like the really expensive RVs and they were all excited and pretending to drive it.
Dude, those things are fucking expensive, those huge ones. I mean, even like the ones like she had, they're like, unless it's really old, they're typically like $40,000 for like a decent one.
I mean, she built hers herself though, which I thought was, that would be a fun project, I think. But
I need to learn how to do that shit. But
I mean, mine probably wouldn't be very nice, and Legos are about the limit of my...
Dude, if you built a Lego inside, that'd be insane. That'd be so cool. Then you can have like a little Lego man passenger in the front seat.
Keep me company.
Yeah, then you can drive in the passenger in the carpool lane with your Lego man.
So on top of the themes, I also felt like there was a lot of good symbolism in this movie. Like when the guy was helping her like unload her car because the ants and the plates broke, I like gasped aloud because I was so shocked that was like the one thing that she cared about, and then he broke it.
I know. I was like, oh, this motherfucker.
But I felt like it was like that was like the one thing that was kind of tying her to like her hometown that was gone. Or I guess that wasn't where she lived for a long time. And
well, it was her father's nice plate, right?
Yeah, like that. But then he broke it, and then he's also the one that helped her like overcome the grief. So I felt like it was just like some symbolism setting up what's going to happen later in the movie.
Yeah, and then later at the end, spoiler, well, not really spoiler for this movie, but I mean, she goes back to Empire, where she was from originally, then just gets rid of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of her completely cutting loose. Like, you don't know where she's going to go. She's probably going to not go back to her sister. Probably not go back to the other old guy. Was it Dave? I think his name was.
I was like, no, why did you leave Dave? He was such a chill old guy.
Yeah, well, I think that just kind of goes. It's like she's at that point in her life. She's not quite ready to heal or move on.
But she's starting. The process.
Yeah, no, that would be
because it was kind of like I felt like her in the van was like her running away from her grief, but then at the end she finally like started the healing process.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things too. It just seemed like she didn't want to be confined to a house at a certain point. She was kind of just, I mean, yeah, to your point, she was running, but yeah, it's kind of her going through that grief. The whole movie is her processing and trying to figure out how to deal with it. So.
Yeah, but then it was another one too, where like each of the characters she met throughout the movie, they kind of all came full circle at the end, where like she met that like hippie guy that she gave a cigarette. And then, like, she was moving on. Her one friend passed away, and they were throwing the rocks in. And it kind of, all those things came together and kind of were her experiences leading up to her being able to move on from her own grief.
Yeah, and it's also her kind of symbolizing her freedom, too. It's like those are the kinds of relationships she needs right now, are more friends. She doesn't need her family, which could be interpreted as somewhat toxic compared to her lifestyle. It's not
Yeah,
healthy
or
for
like
her.
people telling her what to do or worrying about her.
Yeah, or like being with Dave and at his family. Like it's his family. She's kind of
Mm-hmm.
imposing, and it's like even if he likes her, it's still like she's staying there at their expense.
Yeah, I would still be
You know.
uncomfortable even if it was like a guest house, just kind of
Yeah.
like mooching.
And so maybe down the road she could do something, but it wasn't her family necessarily.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she kind of had to go her own way and figure out what she wanted to do.
But I have one criticism of this movie I wanted to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
So her friend who died, I don't remember. Do you remember the character's name?
I think it was Swanky. I think
Yeah,
that was her name.
they all had kind of silly names. When she told what's her name, Frances McDormand, that she had cancer, she said when she dies, like throw a rock on the fire. Then at the end of the movie, where they're with the RV people and they're all throwing rocks in the fire, and like she died, and then one random lady throws the rock in the fire and like goes like, because she loved rocks. And then I was just like, come on, they didn't need to say that one line. Like everyone knows, like that's what they're doing. Like don't. That's like the Wonder Woman thing. They have to explain it to us. That's why we're throwing the rocks. And then and everything else in the movie was like so perfect that this one line I felt like stood out because it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very minor thing, but it just rubbed me the wrong way.
That always does. I mean, like the same thing like we're talking about in our previous video, Happily. It's like they have the joke happening that's funny, and then they have to, after the joke happens, they have to have a character point out the joke in dialogue and explain the joke again. It's like that doesn't, it's just not needed. But to be devil's advocate, some people watching movies, probably not this movie, but in general, people aren't always keen when they're watching films. They don't pick up on all the subtleties in film if they don't watch a lot of movies or don't care about movies. So maybe they'd be like, "Why are they throwing rocks? That's stupid."
Well, that's why I
don't
think
get
Netflix needs like a new category, and it's like movies I could watch while playing on my phone, and I feel like that would be a really popular
Ooh,
category.
That would be really good, yeah.
And then they could put King Kong versus Godzilla on it.
Yeah, one of the things didn't bother me necessarily, but just the symbolism that you're talking about, because like the plate broke. And then the other part too, when like she first went to the Santa Claus van meeting, and then she was meeting her friend who died of cancer. I think it was Swanky. They showed like a shot of like two cactuses standing in the desert for like sunrise, and then when it went back and transitioned, it showed like the same kind of scene, but there was only one cactus standing this time. So I was
I didn't even notice that.
yeah. So then it's like, oh, the one person died, I guess. So now there's only one, but it's like, you know, with the themes of the movie, I guess my interpretation was, she's not in the physical world anymore. It's like a fallen cactus. But then when she talks to the Santa Claus dude, he's like, oh, it's never like goodbye. It's always see you again down the road. So I know in the next life or wherever we go, our paths will cross again. So it's like, I don't know, that symbolism didn't quite work for me with the two cactuses. Like I got it, but then when they fixed it, it's like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
I need to think a little bit more about that one. But.
Yeah, well, it's like we mentioned before when they told the stories, like even though like when the Santa Claus man is talking about like how his son died, he is explaining the themes of the movie, but he's telling a story and it's done just like in a clever and like wholesome way where it's not like thinking the audience is dumb like I feel like a lot of movies do.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where it's like you kind of get what the main character is going through, her problems and her story, and then as she goes and talks to these other people who have their own problems, you learn about their stories, you learn about their past, you start to care about them as a character while also developing the main person's story. They're not just there to
exactly
heavily explain it, like it fits within the context of the movie. And with this movie too, since it did have that like indie feel to it, I don't think it was actually an independent film, but it definitely looked like it.
Yeah.
But they were going for that style with the characters. It felt like very real. I almost wonder if there wasn't really that tight of a script for it. If it was just like, okay, we go to this place, some stuff happens, and they're just like talking to the people there.
Like a Duplass Brothers movie.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, okay, this scene A, B, and C need to happen. Just talk about it and let it roll.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got that vibe when they had a lot of the close-ups where they're just like talking for a long time, because pretty much like every side character had a scene like that at some point.
And that makes me think that maybe that scene where they're all throwing the rocks in the fire, maybe that's what they said. Like everyone had to take turns. Like, oh, just for this scene, you're kind of paying memory to the passing of your friend. So just say something that you would think someone would say in this situation. So maybe one of the extras just said that, oh, because she liked rocks or something. But I don't know.
I don't know.
Definitely was a little kind of took you out of the scene for a second.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it's a very minor thing, and that's why I wanted to mention it because it's the only thing I could think of for criticism for this movie.
Yeah, this is a fantastic movie. It was so good. Some of the scenes, like where she was like, I noticed it when like you could really feel when she was like lonely and sad, like when her friends would leave, and like the lady with cancer left, or her friend from Amazon, like they had like a great time together for a few weeks, or like when a job would end and then they'd go their separate ways. Or even like when she was like getting ready to leave Dave's family house, and she was up really early in the morning before anyone was awake. Like you could, it was this long scenes with like that really kind of sad piano music playing, and like it was just kind of like coldly lit and dark, and she's like standing in the empty house, and you just like could feel her like loneliness, and like not a single like piece of dialogue of talking about how she was feeling, but you just could get it exactly from the film. Like you knew what she was going through, even though like the scene before was a happy film. Like, oh, they wanted her to stay and they were appreciating her.
She was playing with the baby.
Yeah, playing with the baby. Like all these things are great, but then you can tell that it's like for her it doesn't feel right, and that's kind of you don't really know why. It doesn't tell you why, but you just feel it, and you're like, ah, shit, she has to go, and like, you just know. So I feel like when you're watching a film and it's able to do that, that's like, oh my god, it's just so good. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting. I think she got nominated for Best Actress for this. So I mean, Frances McDormand is great, even though I think Fargo is still peak acting. But I mean, was it three billboards?
3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah,
that one's really. I love that.
She was great in
too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but her, I mean, she's really good in that one. But Sam Rockwell steals the show. He's such like a dumb piece of shit guy, and his like complete like arc of going full circle.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's weird because like she's the main character in that movie, but the movie is like about Sam Rockwell's character and his character development. Not
I think that's kind of the point of that movie. That's another very, very theme heavy movie. Like, yeah, she's the main character, but that movie I think is much more of a commentary on like the state of America and kind of racism in America, sexism, and like the crime and how the system's set up too. So just kind of going through it. So Sam Rockwell, I feel like, kind of represents that like shitty bad side or the stuff you don't want to talk about of America necessarily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always like it when movies do that. Like on a lighter note, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ferris Bueller's the main character, but it's really about like his friend being able to like stand up for himself, and like Ferris trying to like show him a good time before they go to college or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that director who did 3 Billboards, and it's the same one who did In Bruges, he's so good at that. Like, In Bruges, I mean, that's tackling a super, super heavy subject, like accidentally murdering a child. And then, like, but it does, he sprinkles in the jokes. They're so perfectly timed, and it works somehow with the movie. It's like, that's kind of the only way you can deal with stuff that's so horrible. So yeah, that humor is really good.
When the race war comes, who are you going to side with?
Oh my god, that scene was insane. Yeah, that movie's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it has the famous "you're an inanimate fucking object" in classic insult.
Oh yeah, on the phone. Dude, that boss guy is so angry. Yeah, that movie has some hilarious parts. That's a great movie. But yeah, this movie, back to Nomadland. It is a kind of strange though now, because I feel like back in like the early 2000s and like late 90s when we'd watch like indie movies that looked like this, they're actually independent films. Like the reasons they looked like this was because of like budget restrictions and stuff. But now it's like it's become its own style.
Yeah, so now it's like a conscious choice to film it like that.
Yeah. It's like same thing with like, what was it, like mid 90s, like that. I think that was like A24. I think that was pretty high produced because it was what's the guy's name? Jonah Hill directed it and stuff. So, but it looked like those old movies.
It looked like it was filmed on VHS.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of VHS, Adam Wingard, director of Godzilla vs Kong. Should we start segueing in? As your final thoughts on Nomadland get wrapped up?
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing but good things to say about Nomadland. I'd say everyone should go out to watch it. Academy or Oscar nominee. Check it out.
Yeah, this movie's fucking good. I think it's one of the best we've watched. I think I enjoyed it more than... No, I definitely enjoyed it more than Pieces of a Woman. This is just a great movie. Beautiful landscape. The soundtrack's on point. Themes are amazing. It's like... actually has a point to the movie when you watch it. You can learn something about people, yourself, grief, or whatever.
Well, it's one of those ones where you just really want her to succeed and like overcome her grief, because like all the other characters are kind of like pursuing their dreams, and like the getting to do what they've wanted to do their whole lives. So you're like, come on, you need to get over this so you can go live your dreams too now.
Yeah, figuring out what her dreams are.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's good. Go watch Nomadland.
So, what the moment you've all been waiting for. Up next, we're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, directed by Adam Wingard. I just want to talk about this director for a second because he has a pretty impressive track record. He did Your Next, The Guest,
yes.
the amazing Netflix live-action Death Note movie. He's featured on both VHS 1 and 2, and my personal favorite, Q is for Quack on the ABCs of Death. So these are all pretty great, wouldn't you say?
Yes, you're leaving out one key film, one of his first ones, Pop Skull.
Oh yeah, Pop Skull was a fun movie. So almost exclusively horror.
Yeah, Pop Skull was one of it. I think that was the second one, but that one was it was like a $2,000 budget movie about some like drug addict kid who hallucinates like an evil demon spirit thing that like murders people. I remember that movie had some insane like flashing visuals and stuff. But yeah, I was when I saw it, I was not too excited about Kong vs. Godzilla. But then when I saw he was the director, I'm like, oh shit, this might be good then. So I got a little excited. Not gonna lie, I never get excited for these types of big budget movies normally. Like it's not a superhero movie per se, but it's in a similar vein. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't too excited. But then I saw his name on it, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm all about it.
So yeah, so have you seen any of the other like of this reboot Godzilla?
I saw I didn't see the Godzilla with the Breaking Bad dude. I didn't see Godzilla 2019, which is Monster Fights All the Other Monsters.
King of Monsters, I think is that.
Yeah,
is that one?
But I did see the King Kong with Jack Black and the King Kong Skull Island with John C. Reilly. So King Kong, I'm all about. Godzilla, I'd rather watch the 2001 one. The old one,
the Ferris Bueller one.
Yeah, I think he's in it. And then I just remember all the little dinosaur, the Godzillas come out of the eggs at the end, and I was terrified as a kid watching it.
That's like a great '90s or early 2000s. I'm not sure, but
I think it's like 2001 or 1999.
Ridiculous,
so
yeah.
Right.
But yeah. So I saw the Bryan Cranston Godzilla. I think I watched it on a plane, and I know the common complaint was that the human characters were really boring and too much of them, but the action was really good. So this one, I'd say the human characters were more interesting than that one, but not by a lot.
Yeah, I didn't really care about the characters that much in this. I mean, like the little girl who was doing sign language with Kong was awesome. She was probably like the only one I really gave two shits about.
The only one with like any personality.
The security guard was okay, like the conspiracy theory guy.
Oh yeah, he was
cool,
right.
but
he was actually pretty funny. I thought a lot of his lines where he's like, "What bitch" or something like.
Yeah, he was good. He just kind of gave me like Alex Jones vibes. So I don't know if I could completely condone his behavior, but he was cool.
Okay, so before you watched this movie, who were you cheering for, Godzilla or King Kong?
Oh, Kong, absolutely Kong.
And then who did you think would win?
Probably Kong, because I knew he was set up as kind of being the good guy going in, and I felt like with a movie like this, you can't. But I honestly, after watching Batman vs Superman, I kind of figured this would happen. I was like, because I knew going in that that fucking bad guy, the wannabe Iron Man dude, the Apex Legends Incorporated man, I knew he was going to be the bad guy. Was up to some shit, so I knew they wouldn't actually fight to the death.
Well, they can't kill either of them because then they can't make any more movies afterwards.
So I knew there was going to be a common enemy that they'd have to work together, and then they even set it up that Godzilla wasn't really bad, but I was hoping for Kong to win the battle.
Okay, let's be real though. There's no way he could beat Godzilla.
No, there's
He's just a big monkey. Godzilla is like superpowers, shoots lasers. It's like no way.
There's no fucking way. There were some funny things like Godzilla was like at that battle at the end. Like, there's so much ridiculous shit in this movie that if you look at it closely, it's gonna completely fall apart. But like Godzilla was like blasting his laser through like what was it? Where were they? Was it Hong Kong?
Hong Kong, yeah.
So they're blasting. He was blasting a hole to the center of the earth.
Yeah.
With his fucking laser breath, and he got all the way through pretty quickly. Like it seemed like it was only within like a 30-minute period, maybe it was longer. I don't know, because movie time. But anyway, after that, so he uses that. That's like the most powerful laser in the world. He can go to the center of the earth with his fucking Godzilla laser breath, and then he blasts Kong with it in the shoulder later. And he just like he just kind of falls and like just
dislocated it. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, is he immune to like basically like sun lava lasers? Like what the fuck?
Well, that's what I was thinking too. Because at the beginning of the movie, they're like shooting Godzilla with like missiles and stuff, and I was like, okay, as hard as big as King Kong is, I don't think a punch is gonna do more than like a missile.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is that they're made of like not human or like earthly matter. They're just like these
that's what I
magical
was
Titan
kind of
creatures.
thinking. Yeah,
but I don't know. I think they just kind of get like with the monster movie this big, they just like, we don't have to follow any movie logic. It's not even movie logic. I feel like they're just gonna, well, it looks cool, so we'll do it.
I'd rather just have them not explain things. Honestly,
which they didn't really do in this movie, so I was okay with it. They didn't try to over-explain really anything. Mm-hmm. Well, some stuff they did, but to be honest,
it's very minimal. Like they're like, this is Hollow Earth. That's it. Like who cares? Like that's what it is. That's all we need to know. We don't need to know why it's there.
And there was like other stuff going on in the background when I was watching this movie, and it has the typical streaming problem with most fucking big budget movies now, is the action scenes are just like unbelievably loud, and then the dialogue, I can't hear shit. So like for the dialogue scenes, I really was kind of tuned out for them. I'm like, I think I heard some of the beginning dialogue. I'm like, I don't care about this. This is horrible.
Okay,
so
well, let's get. I want to go into some of the plot things with the characters. Okay. So the first group I want to talk about is the military people that were hired by the
Apex Lord,
the
Apex Legend,
Apex Legends company, which was like Alexander Skarsgård and the little girl and the other lady who doesn't do anything the whole movie,
and then the physicist guy. Right?
There's a physicist.
He's
Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh, okay, that's him. I didn't remember his name.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah, a good actor, but he didn't have much to work with this one. So, first of all, why did they even need Alexander Skarsgård? Why couldn't they just send anyone? I didn't understand why.
Because he was a physicist. He was like a physicist guy who was maybe he was in the previous Godzilla movie. I don't know, but yeah, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. Like I thought maybe he was gonna help them. Like, did he design those cool ships? But no, Apex had that other lady.
Yeah, I feel like they could have sent anyone. They needed like the little girl and the other lady to control Kong, but they didn't need Alexander Skarsgård at all. Like,
yeah, he didn't do anything. I don't know what. I mean, besides like pulling the switch to release Kong when Godzilla attacked them, I don't think he did. He threw a rock at the monster. Yeah, but that was more him just becoming less of a coward. I don't know why they needed it, and that was not clear to me.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess because he was good. They had to navigate to that center world where the physics was all fucked up. And I guess he was the only one who understood. Yeah,
I guess because his brother went before and died. I guess.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
It seemed like the corporation people already figured out how to get there. They just needed Kong.
Yeah, they did. They already had those crazy helicopter
so it's
things.
like I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know either. And I don't know why they would send him instead of sending any of the other center of the Earth scavengers. Wasn't there Brendan Fraser went to the center of the Earth?
The Rock went to the center of the Earth.
Even fucking Will Ferrell and Danny McBride went there. Why didn't they send any of those four people? Would have been better than this dude. Or classic, get Jack Black or John C. Reilly. Come on.
Jack Black can do anything.
Yeah, he was in the original Kong, and then John C. Reilly, he built that boat thing. He could build the ship.
Not the original Kong, isn't the Peter Jackson one.
Still.
The original one's like from the 40s.
Yeah. Well, that was before my time.
So the military people have to be like the stupidest people ever. So it's pretty much been established that like Godzilla's been around and like missiles don't do anything. So all of their ships get destroyed and they still don't want to release Kong. Like, what the fuck are they going to do? All of their ships got wrecked and they still don't want to let Kong go to defend it.
I know, that was hilarious. I thought, like, maybe it was because, like, as a general, he's like, oh, we have to protect Kong at all costs and, like, sacrifice everyone. But I don't think that was it. Like, just the main general, he didn't do anything. Like, they're listening to, like, the physics guy. They're listening to, like, the child. They're listening to Kong's, like, that other lady. Was that, like, Ben Affleck's wife from The Town? I don't remember her name. But anyway, like, I don't know.
Rebecca Hall.
Rebecca Hall. I mean, I don't know why the general did nothing. Why did they even have him on the ship? Like, he didn't command the people. He didn't do anything. It was very strange. I just don't get why he would, as a military general, why he'd be listening to these fucking people.
Well, I just thought it was so funny. Like, the whole, like, Navy got destroyed except for that one boat, and they still don't want to release Kong. Yeah. Like, what are they going to do now? Like,
and also, I don't think you can just flip, like, if he was, like, if they flipped that battleship with Kong on it, I don't think they could just flip it back and it would just float like normal. And why when that boat flipped, like, okay, so their shit was hitting the fan, and then, like, the Rebecca Hall, she's like, oh, I have to take the little girl to a safe spot, so they go in, like, the bathroom, which is, like, a locked thing, and then as soon as they go in there, the boat ships and it starts filling up with water. It's like, well, that's like the worst place you could go.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna be safe, and then they would be the ones that have to like rescue everyone, but it was the opposite.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
So then immediately after they tricked Godzilla by playing dead. I thought that was so funny. Like they definitely wrote themselves into a corner with that one.
And why were Godzilla even attacking them? Were they just like in their pathway? Like was it just in Godzilla's way? Like why was he attacking them? Because I don't
my interpretation was that whenever like another big monster comes, Godzilla just has to fight it for some reason. So they were hiding Kong because Godzilla can just like sense it with his like blue glow.
Oh, okay. That
so
makes sense.
that was my guess, but I mean I don't know. I mean
we didn't watch the previous Godzilla, so maybe they get more into it in those ones.
So that was incredibly stupid.
What else about the military?
It was like a big reveal that the little girl was talking to Kong in sign language and that Kong understood. But I feel like at the beginning of the movie they had him like in that alternate like big TV screen sky. So like they have to have him under surveillance. Like this little girl is just sneaking around with the big monkey and like no one realized that she was like teaching him sign language. It's not like that's something you can do overnight.
Well, I think because she was on the island originally with Kong, so they were connected. So maybe that's when they did it. And they were
because she was born on the island. So how could she learn sign language if she's never contacted other humans before?
Nah, fuck. Well, she had some. Maybe she developed her own sign language. I don't know. I just assumed that since because knowing my Jane Goodall history, I just assume that all monkeys know how to use sign language and can read it.
Sense.
So I didn't know it was a reveal. I'm like, oh wait, how come they didn't fucking know this? Like, come on, this is basic 101. Kong's a super evolved Titan monkey. Of course he's gonna know sign language. Are you stupid? Like, what? Come on.
I was waiting for him to throw poop at Godzilla to get his attention too. Isn't that what monkeys do?
Yeah, that would have been so funny. That was his special attack. He just shit in Godzilla's eyes to distract him. That would have been really good. Yeah, the military was pretty useless. I did enjoy watching like Kong hop from ship to ship and just like he jumped on it and just destroyed that one ship. Or like
all the action was really cool.
And they had that scene where like he grabbed the jet fighter or like when it was taking off and then just threw it. That would have been funnier if he threw the jet and just the guy didn't eject himself out.
Well, that's what I wanted to see because like it was a lot of buildings and boats and things getting blown up. I wanted to see him just like smush some more people.
I mean, there was a lot of that at the battle at the end in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
There was like hundreds of thousands of people had to have died.
Yeah, I mean, Hong Kong got wrecked. Yeah.
There's so many people that died.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of the theme of like the older ones where Japan just gets wrecked and Godzilla's symbolism for the atomic bomb and all that jazz,
disrupting nature. So it was nature fighting back because of humans taking things too far, causing their own destruction.
One more on the dumb military people. So the main villain's daughter was there to like steal a sample of like the power
11?
source. No.
The helicopter girl, the big the center of the
helicopter
Earth
girl.
What was her
name? Eliza Gonzalez, I think, was the actress.
Yeah.
At the end, she got the sample and then she's leaving, but Kong's just like in her way, so they just shoot him and he just turns around and destroys them.
Yeah, that was.
She could have just went around, just go around him. You can fly, just go up and over. Like,
that was so funny.
Because at that point, Kong
stupid,
still thought they were friendly, like thought they were on the same side. Like he doesn't understand. He's a dumb monkey that she stole the sample or whatever.
That was hilarious. That part made me laugh so fucking hard. It was so stupid. Why did they need the sample again to like make Godzilla even stronger or
Mechagodzilla? It was to control Mechagodzilla, or it was like the Mechagodzilla like didn't have enough power, so they were able to somehow clone the DNA wirelessly to like.
It was
make
using
more
Elon
power.
Musk's Neuralink to
something like that.
I don't know.
So I mean, that stuff I don't care about, but I mean, it was just so funny that she just got herself killed in such like a stupid way.
I know. I thought she was gonna kind of like go back and then come back and like have some kind of fight, like a standoff with the humans later. But no, she just got killed immediately. I did like when some of those death scenes. Same with like the Apex Legends guy too. The guy that sounded like, what was it, Gorb from Tim and Eric?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna pronounce this wrong. Demian Bichir is the actor's name. I want to talk about him. He was my favorite character.
We can wait, but we can just call him Gorb. And if you guys watching don't know who Gorb is, watch Tim and Eric's Cinco Boy. Google, enter that into YouTube, and you'll meet Gorb. But yeah,
So,
they based his character off Gorb, which is why.
Yeah. So that's all I want to say about the military people. But now I want to talk about the activists next.
So like 11 and Josh.
Yeah, 11 and Fire Fist literally did nothing in the whole movie.
Well, the one kid poured the alcohol in the computer.
Yeah, so that was like incredible. So like the whole building got destroyed except for that one computer. So if Mechagodzilla just like broke it a little bit more, would he just like break himself? Like that's so stupid. That one computer.
Yeah, that was really dumb. I feel like as like a big like top of the line military grade Apex fucking computer system, like that just destroyed it. But I don't know if it destroyed Mechagodzilla completely. I think it just kind of like fried his wires for a second, and it just happened to be at the right time, so
Maybe,
it gave
but,
Kong
I mean,
the
it was
edge.
so. I feel like they could have done any. Like I feel like they could have just had
stupid.
like at the beginning when Fire Fist like meets up with 11. He could have just had like a thing where he's like, "Oh yeah, my computer broke because I was illegally downloading Godzilla movie, and I got a virus, and I put the virus on this USB." And then at the end, he's like, "Oh, I still have this virus USB, and plug it in, or so anything would be better than this stupid alcohol plot point." Oh my
I know.
God.
And they, I mean, to give him credit, at least like they had setup for it, like with like the gun holster, and he had the flask in it.
I
So
guess.
at least they called back. But to your point, it's still pretty fucking.
I thought for
it's
sure
pretty
he was going to
bad
get
writing.
shot, and the flask was going to block the bullet. I thought,
Yeah, that's pretty
100%
classic.
That's that. Yeah,
That's like classic.
for sure that was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, plot wise, the writing wasn't great. It was pretty dumb. I don't even know why they were. I don't even know why that group of people was in the fucking movie.
Yeah, so that was my thing. So the villain guy, he didn't seem that bad. Like I don't understand what he was doing that the activists were so against. They were just developing technology to defeat Godzilla because they thought Godzilla was a threat. Like
But I think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So the activists like knew Godzilla was a good guy, but like they don't know that. Like we as viewers know that, but in the movie universe, Godzilla is like a real threat, and I feel like he was just trying to develop like a super weapon.
Well, I think that's the whole point, though. I think it's because Godzilla protected them in the previous movie against like the three-headed monster. So he like saved the day. That's where they got the skull. So
Yeah.
Godzilla was a good person, but the reason he was turning on them is because he knew they're trying to summon those powers and revive the evil monster.
Yeah, but they don't. I feel like they don't know that. That's just conspiracy theories, you know. Like we as viewers know that, but like in the universe, he just seemed like he was trying to. He wasn't like using like slave labor or anything. Like,
Yeah, but that's because they are activists, though. They're the conspiracy ones. They're the ones who believe in all that shit. So I'm sure they believe in like the weather machine and stuff too. So it's probably one of the many conspiracy things they believe because they're just fucking
but
crazies.
I thought that was like an incredibly weak plot point.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I almost feel like they cut out like a ton of stuff in development with the characters. They're
Yeah, well, like I
fuck it.
said, those characters literally do nothing to drive the plot forward. And like Eleven's dad is one of the Baldwin brothers, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was in the movie. Like why even have like a big actor?
Well, I think he was in the first one. I'm pretty sure he was in the previous
Oh,
one.
was he? Okay,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure he. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I think he was more important.
Okay, that
than
makes a
those.
little bit more sense then. But then,
Yeah.
like everyone, I feel like Elizabeth or 11 is like a fan favorite. She like did nothing. She had very few lines.
Yeah, she was the most useless, even of the group of the people.
Yeah.
Like at least the security guard guy got him in, like knew what was happening and knew that they could get him to the center or that fucking Mecha Godzilla lab.
Mm-hmm.
At least like the other kid from from the Hunt for the Wilder People, that kid.
Yeah, Fire Fist.
Yeah, Fire Fist. At least they knew that he at least poured the alcohol on the
Yeah.
computer and got the van, so he was helpful. What did 11 contribute?
Nothing.
What did she do?
She didn't use her psychic powers at all. I was very disappointed.
No, she didn't do anything.
And
I mean,
I really, the Fire Fist actor, he's actually like really funny. I feel like every role I've seen him in other than this, he's hilarious. And this one, they just gave him nothing.
Yeah, they underutilized him completely.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they were in the movie. I guess to like act as viewers, to be like, oh, they're viewers in the movie, so
I
that
think it was
kids
because
can
they
connect with them.
No, it has to be because they realized, like, oh shit, just because Gorb has slicked back hair and speaks in a whisper voice, that he's not evil enough, so we have to, like, paint him as a more evil character with these activists.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to stay. I mean, I know Adam Wingard. I think he said he watched like every Godzilla movie before making this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was trying. I mean, trying to stay true. I mean, with the overall story, I don't know how much he even wrote of it, but they're trying to stay true to like the original Godzilla themes, which is like, oh, mankind created a weapon too powerful and it unleashed Godzilla to like destroy because of them meddling with like forces beyond their control.
Yeah.
So I feel like just if you know that history, then it's like, oh, obviously the Apex company's bad, but through the movie itself, it doesn't really show it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it requires like prior knowledge.
But to our point, maybe I'm giving the movies the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that was established more in the previous Godzilla, which we didn't watch.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Could be.
Sorry, viewers, we weren't more prepared with our Godzilla knowledge for this, but we typically don't choose to watch these types of movies. We do it for you as
I know.
viewers.
I was waiting for John C. Reilly's name to pop up in the opening credits, and it never did, and a single tear fell.
I think that's the only reason why I watched the other Kong.
He was amazing in Skull Island. He made that movie.
There was no really likable people. I mean, the security guard, I enjoyed his character, but he didn't do anything. There wasn't really anyone I cared about.
I mean, the little girl was pretty.
Oh yeah, she was good.
Great, yeah,
but like they weren't really main people. They didn't do that much.
I mean, none of the human characters did anything. I mean, I guess it's fine, but I just thought it was weird that they have so many like big actors.
Well, it's a big budget movie. They gotta throw those big budget names in, or no one's gonna watch it.
I guess so.
All right, so the conspiracy group was shit. The military group wasn't as shitty, but like pretty useless also.
Stupider, yeah.
The bad guy and his daughter with their center of the earth.
He did not raise a smart daughter, but he was great himself.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how it goes. It's kind of how it goes. The smart, successful businessmen have kids who are just dumb. They don't know what they're doing.
So yeah, I loved the villain. He was just like your most stereotypical like evil CEO, just like Gorb, and I loved it. He was so funny. Just the way he talked with his slick back hair, so perfect. Mwah.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good silly villain. I wish he was in it a little more.
Yeah, I wish he was in it more. Like he was so funny, I thought.
But to your point, they didn't really show him doing that much bad shit though. Like he didn't.
Yeah,
really...
I mean,
he was just kind of. But I think that's kind of how the original Godzilla was too. Just kind of like a scientist who wanted to keep making technology, then it went too far. So that was kind of how it was. But yeah, they didn't really do it well.
Well, yeah, I feel like they could have just had like one scene where they just like sacrificed a bunch of humans to like fight. Like they were doing like prototype Mechagodzillas and just like killed a bunch of people and like threw them in the ocean or something like that. Like just like a throwaway scene to make them seem more evil instead of this whole like activist subplot.
Well, I mean, I guess with the logic of the movie, but like as viewers we get it, but as characters in the movie, not necessarily. It's like sure, because like I think they like the activists knew, and we viewers, we knew that the company was bad because they were meddling and doing stuff that was making Godzilla pissed by like trying to harness the Titan power. So they knew that was pissing off Godzilla.
But I feel like
how self-aware was the main bad guy that this was causing Godzilla to come attack them?
Yeah, so. like I said in the movie, they don't know that they're provoking Godzilla, and like I guess Godzilla like attacked their complex or whatever, but that's like it. Like we don't know.
But it's
like...
because they had the Continuum Transfunctioner in there that they were building. That's why. But okay, to be fair, we're talking about like real life themes. So like, let's say like America, we're building nuclear weapons. Let's say we were the first ones to build it. So we have these big nukes that can blow up the world. We're not going to use the nukes, but we have them. So then that unintentionally provokes the rest of the world to make nukes also.
I guess that makes sense.
So then that just makes the problem worse. So that's kind of the
Well, it's just one of those things where everything was just like half-assed in this movie, except for the action scenes, which is the big highlight of this movie for sure.
Well, that's why this movie worked a little bit better for me than like Snyder Cut or those other ones, because I don't know if I was just in a different mood when I was watching, or now I'm getting more keen to watching these types of movies. Like I just kind of tuned out and tried not to think too much about the dialogue, because like I was like, these characters suck. The dialogue's shitty. They're not doing anything. Like I don't give a fuck about them. So I just only focused on the action. And this movie had a lot of action in it. It was just constant cool shit happening. So that was fine. It was fine. It was minimal dialogue, minimal characters. Lots of big action scenes.
Yeah, so let's talk about the action scenes. The scene in Hong Kong was amazing with like all the neon lights. I think Kong drop kicks Godzilla at some point. Like that was like some WWE shit right there.
Yeah, dude, that was great. That one definitely looked the coolest. I really liked it when they went to like the center of the earth, and then Kong got his like throne with his like cool axe and the whole thing lit up, and he was just sitting there like a king, just chilling, kind of like slouched to the side.
Yeah, I'm
so
glad they gave him a
badass.
weapon, because I feel like that's the only way he would stand a chance against Godzilla if it was like somewhat realistic.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I loved watching all of the monster heads get like ripped off and like exploded and stuff. That was great.
Cut in half and smushed.
Yes.
I really love those ugly like bird bat things that were in his cave. They were
Yeah.
so disgusting with their like big turkey gobbles hanging around.
I know,
I wish those were in it more.
The scene where like they're about to kill like the girl and the lady, and the physicist dude threw the rock at its head.
Yeah.
And then looked at him. I was like, oh my god, that was a bad move.
That creature design was really good. I
Yeah,
liked
that
it.
looked really cool. Their big battle, yeah, I love just watching Godzilla and Kong just punch the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
That was
And like when Godzilla was like clawing him and like smacking him around with the tail.
yeah,
Kong took a beating though. I thought they were gonna like have to give him like some like a water tower full of steroids to get him back up, but he just like, knock him down and gets back up again.
what do you think of the when Kong? Because ultimately, I mean, I don't. As much as I would like to, we probably shouldn't do a full scene by scene fight breakdown. But I did think it was kind of funny that they just set it up like a like it was just like a normal fight, like where Kong like pops his shoulder back in,
Yeah.
and, like punching and stuff. It's like reminded me of like a boxing movie or something.
Yeah, I was expecting him to like find something to bounce off of, where he like bounces off the ring and like clotheslines Godzilla or something.
Oh, that would have been so hilarious. But what did you think when Kong? Because he ultimately got defeated by Godzilla. He had to submit.
Of course, just
Yeah, there's no fucking way. He was badass. He was the underdog. I think that's why they chose to paint him as the good guy, because you always got to root for the
it's
underdog.
Rocky versus the Russian.
Yeah. But what do you think when they had to revive him? So they used the ship to like defibrillate.
I mean, I had no idea. So like, was he having a heart attack? Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
I guess he just was too much Godzilla caused his heart to overload. Well, that just for some reason that just made me think of Crank 2 when he falls out of the helicopter. So then they just bring him back to life with the fake heart. Oh, there was so much ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, I
like
don't
that.
think a heart attack is what killed Jason Statham falling out of a helicopter.
Yeah. So that was super ridiculous. And then also just the whole idea of them building a Mecha Godzilla out of the skull of that like computer battle station. That was so ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Like,
thought that
it
was funny
in the
though.
skull.
That didn't bother me at all, just because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah. At least they didn't try to be serious. Like if
Yeah.
Zack Snyder was trying to do it, it would have just come off as just terrible. But since it was pretty light with all the stuff and the explanations and kept it silly,
And they had like the stereotypical like Asian guy was like the guy
Oh,
in the
yeah.
suit. I'm surprised he didn't have like a samurai sword on Mechagodzilla.
I
or
know
something.
they really could have done like, made it a little bit more of a character instead of just pure stereotype.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, come on. But yeah, I mean, he was fine, I guess. But still, that battle station did look sick. All the cool pink neon lights and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like what I strive
Inside
to
a
have for,
giant
like,
skull. Yeah.
yeah, that's like what I want my gaming system to be like in the future. That's like my ideal gaming setup. That would have been awesome.
It was like that Maniac show with the Jonah Hill.
Oh yeah, that was a really that
Same
one was more
aesthetic.
80s aesthetic. That was cool.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what I was thinking, because like when they had that fight in Hong Kong, I was like, oh, the aesthetic is very similar to The Guest, and then I was like, oh, same director, and makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, The Guest is great.
It just needed more synth.
Yes. Yeah, that's my only complaint, or not my only complaint, but one of my complaints. Never mind. Yeah, of many complaints. One that I had was the soundtrack. I was they playing like the Beatles at the end with Kong, and they had all that kind of like happy music and stuff for the scenes with Kong. I was like, that felt kind of out of place.
They just needed some Inception, like blah. More, yeah, more of that. I feel like
Yeah.
needed more Gorb.
Needed some Hans Zimmer. That's what they needed. But yeah, it was that kind of, I don't know, was a little too tacky in my opinion for the movie. I would have liked synths a little more, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of expecting them to give like King Kong like robot arms or something so he could fight Godzilla better. But
I think that happens in some of the old Godzilla movies. At some point, I think that happens.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I
But...
vaguely remember Godzilla having like a little eyepiece thing that like he controls and like has like rockets on his back that he can shoot. But
I vaguely remember that too from like one of the video games or something. Yeah.
I did love that when they were battling all this shit, like just how much of the city got destroyed. I'm like, how many like thousands of people got killed because of them just battling?
Yeah, I mean they destroyed like 100 skyscraper buildings. So I mean,
yeah, I just thought it was funny. They go through and destroy all of those people, like, kill all those people, probably destroy the entire economy for like a while, and then just after that, okay, Godzilla and Kong just go back to their normal.
Maybe it's symbolism of the Chinese taking over Hong Kong and how they're destroying. So China is Godzilla.
I mean, it could be. We gotta be careful what we say. The Chinese like Secret Service people are gonna come like murder us for talking bad about their fucking country, and we're gonna go travel there. Then we're just gonna get taken. And
hey, don't get mad at us. Get mad at Adam Wingard.
Yeah. Oh my god! Yeah, that was wild. That was interesting. I just don't think that they would let Kong and Godzilla get away with that, even if they are good guys. I think the military, like the United Nations or something, would have to just be like, yeah, we can't have fucking Kong and Godzilla. They're too destructive.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least Kong, they like just like send him to the center of the earth, so maybe he won't bother anymore.
Isn't that where Godzilla went to, or is he just in the ocean now?
I think he's just in the ocean. He just swims around. I mean, I guess it had been a few years since Godzilla attacked, they said, so... Yeah. They need a big wall, like in Pacific Rim. Just build a big wall.
Pacific Rim was cool. I was getting definite vibes from Pacific Rim with the Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, how the guy was controlling it. That was kind of funny how he just got killed because like Mecha Godzilla rode his systems and just like electrocuted him.
Poor Gorb. I wanted him to survive so he could get a 5C girl to replace his dead dog.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I was waiting for... So, like, I was getting Pacific Rim vibes from the Mecha Godzilla. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if they are going to do more crossovers from, like, this monster universe with other movie universes. And I was like, ooh, that'd be pretty good. Godzilla, like, it goes and attacks, like, the Aquaman, like, city, like, underwater. So then Aquaman has to fight... Yeah, Atlantis has to fight fucking Godzilla. That'd be
I don't think Aquaman could do shit against
Godzilla. Well, then he could just get killed. And then Willem Dafoe, the true Lord of the Sea, would have to kill him.
Team up with Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Robert Pattinson shines the lighthouse into Godzilla's eyes so William Dafoe can offer the killing blow.
Then Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson can just stay on their happy lighthouse island together for all eternity.
Just fart and eat lobsters.
The dream. But yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty solid kind of like just big dumb action movie.
Yeah, it's basically like a high budget Monster Hunter would be my.
Mm-hmm. I think I enjoyed it more than Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it looked nicer. The action scenes. I mean, I'm a little biased as always. I love anything with monkeys in it or apes, great apes, gorillas. I know they're not the same thing. But anything with a big Kong in it, I'm gonna enjoy more than just normal dragons.
Well, yeah, I mean, Monster Hunter's like a cheese fest, where this is like still like a real movie.
Yeah. And just I don't know, it had more of the classic kind of build up for their big fight at the end.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of funny because this movie is only like not even 2 hours long.
Yeah,
comparing it to like Batman vs Superman, which is like the Ultimate Edition's like 3 hours long. And fucking Batman and Superman have like no interaction in that movie. This is so fucking long. They don't do shit together. They're barely even in it together until the last fight. So I think they did a really bad job of building up the suspense. In this movie, they did a way better job. Just got straight to the action. There's no dilly-dallying. There's no like fucking Godzilla Kong nightmare sequences where like, Batman's being haunted by these spooky bats in his parents' graves. I mean, just get to the action. I don't want that backstory. I don't care about Ben Affleck. I want to see them fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what, like I said, I know the common complaint of like the previous two Godzilla movies was that there was too much boring human stuff and not enough monster action. So this one, they were just like, let's put the bare minimum for the human characters and have a lot of action.
I mean, for a movie like this, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too. I mean, it's basically, like I said, it's basically a Fast and Furious movie, but with big monsters. Like,
yeah, I mean, if they were going to do actually good dialogue with interesting characters and actual character development, sure, but I don't think I've ever really seen that in a big budget superhero movie or big budget action one like this. So it's like, fuck it, just cut it out. If that's not what the focus is, then don't even bother.
Exactly. This one, it knew what it was going for more than the other ones, I feel, and that's what I liked about it.
Well, that's what Monster Hunter did really good too. It's like there was the language barrier between the two main characters. So like for the first like half, if not longer, like 2/3 of the movie, there's like no fucking dialogue.
Yeah, I mean they know what their audience is, and that's what they're gonna do. Yeah,
and it's like if you're not gonna focus on the characters, don't even try. Just make a cool stylized action ove with some sick ass battle sequences.
Yeah, no one's gonna watch Kong versus Godzilla because they want to see the developing relationships between Alexander Skarsgård and him getting sign language wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd say for the kind of turn off your brain, big dumb action movies, I enjoyed this one probably the most I've seen in a while for a big dumb action movie.
Yeah, I mean I like this more than like almost all the superhero movies that I've seen.
I liked it more than Justice League Snyder Edition. I liked it more than Batman vs Superman. I liked it more than Monster Hunter.
Definitely liked it more than Wonder Woman.
Yeah, much more than Wonder Woman. What else have I seen that are in the same?
I mean, those
vein?
are like all the big ones that we've seen. Not much
I don't know if
coming
I
out
liked
right
it
now.
more than Skull Island though, but
I mean,
that might
Skull
just be
Island was just carried by John C. Reilly. And...
Yeah, I feel like that movie had a better actual story, but the action sequences were better in this one for sure.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good. What about you? So would you recommend this movie, or do you have more thoughts you want to talk about still?
I think we talked about everything. I mean,
so would you recommend Kong vs. Godzilla? The big question that all the viewers have been waiting for.
I think I would recommend it if you just want like a fun action movie. I would watch it. It's not too long. It's entertaining. The action scenes look nice. There's some funny moments. So go out and watch it on HBO Max.
Yeah, I would say if you're expecting Eleven to use her superpowers like she does in Stranger Things, this is not the movie for you. She has no superpowers. She's pretty useless. She does everything in Stranger Things. In this, she doesn't do shit.
She doesn't do shit.
But at least she's getting more active.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, that would have been perfect. Like, they control Mechagodzilla using, like, psychic powers. So she would have been the perfect fit to just hop in that command booth and take over.
Yeah. Actually, that's one more point. Yeah, I don't know what... That's what I was expecting to happen. I thought for sure, like, 11 or the Josh would have gone to that machine and, like, helped them somehow by, like, controlling Mechagodzilla. Mm-hmm. That would have been awesome. Like, imagine if, like, okay, Godzilla versus Kong have to fight. And then they have their fight, same as always. And then Godzilla fights Mechagodzilla. Godzilla loses, so now Kong's fighting Mechagodzilla. And then they should have had a fucking another big-ass monster come. And then that, like, after Kong gets defeats, like, Mecha, doesn't destroy it, they're like, oh, shit. Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and Kong have to work together to defeat this other, even bigger monster. And then that's when 11 has to take over Mechagodzilla and use teamwork. So it's the three of them. I
was thinking too,
sick.
Mechagodzilla has like Transformers mode, and it like latches onto Godzilla's back, and they become like a hybrid of Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, and then Kong rides it with his axe to fight some even stronger.
Yeah, they take the weapons off Mechagodzilla. They're like going into the ocean. So Kong's riding on top of like this hybrid Godzilla Mechagodzilla contraption with his axe, like using the axe as like a rudder or something.
And then they go back to Hollow Earth, and there's like a machine gun made out of the blue glow in the dark metal that he hits. So he has an axe and a machine gun.
Yes,
that's the like sequel.
A crystal powered like Titan minigun that he just has.
Yeah, the next movie is Godzilla versus Kong versus Mechagodzilla versus new enemy.
Yes. Yeah, if I knew more about the monster universe, I don't know.
Versus Mothra.
Well, I think Mothra was in the other one.
Yeah, I think it's Mothra and the three-headed thing. It starts with a G, but I forget what it is.
Wasn't that? I thought that was one of the ones that got its head chopped off, and that's what they used to build.
Yeah, that's what they fought in the second movie, I think.
Yeah, that's where they got the skull. Yeah, that would have been cool. But yeah, this was still good. It was still very good for a big old action movie. And now that Adam Wingard got this one made, his passion project he's been trying to get made for a long time is like the Thundercats movie. So cool. I think now he should be able to get that made because he did this one. That's kind of what he's been trying to do. So we'll see if it's good. I mean,
I'm sure it will. I mean, like I said, he has a pretty good track record. So
yeah, he's made some good stuff, and he's primarily only making horror movies. And I guess technically, Kong vs. Godzilla is like a monster movie, so it's still in the horror.
It's a creature
realm.
feature.
It's a creature. Yeah,
feature.
so he's still staying true to his roots for now. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he does next. Hopefully it's more good stuff. Hopefully he does The Guest 2, bigger budget. Any final thoughts on Kong vs. Godzilla?
Oh, that's all I have to say. So thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Until next week, thanks for watching, everyone.